A stolen putter, a 16-year comeback, 8 guys playing golf in February in Chicago. Welcome back to Two Off the Tee. I am your host, James Shin, the better golfer, and with me, my brother, my co-host, the Titleist of loans, Jeff Shin. Welcome back to the show, Jeff. We have a lot to talk about today. You have something to say?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say thanks for having me on my show, but okay.
Yes. Thank you for coming back to my show. Jeff, on the tee box today, I want to talk about two things actually. Collin Morikawa, he won at Pebble Beach over the weekend with a stolen putter.
Yeah, I mean a lot of stuff happened last week in the professional world, and that putter that's stolen, he borrowed it from I think his like brother's friend, and he was playing the Spider Tour X, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed because I know we were golfing Sunday that you mentioned, and I think we heard it was gonna be potentially a playoff, or maybe it was a playoff match, and I was like, oh shoot, yeah, we have a pro that's gonna win, gaming the ZT Tour putter, and then after the round when we played and I read it, I was like, damn it, man, you played the Spider Tour, a little disappointed because I was excited that more pros were gonna be gaming the Spider ZT.
That's the putter you have.
Yeah, that's the one I got at the end of the season, and,
It's a really
I
nice
I don't
looking
I don't know.
putter.
It's a great looking putter. I definitely am struggling with it a lot more than, my Tour Red 3 that I have. So, I'm on the fence of, do I really wanna give up the putter or just figure it out and using the ZT? Because at least with the ZT, I know this sounds nerdy, the MOI is much higher than the Tour 3, so it just flies off the face, and that's one thing I haven't played enough with it, to really get a feel on the greens.
You sound like the scientist now.
I've been always a little bit of a gearhead and looking into it. I wanted a new putter, and there's a lot of hype with the zero torque. And I went back and forth between the Lab and the ZT. And ultimately, I didn't think there would be a huge difference between getting the Lab and the ZT. So to save $100, I was like, okay, I'll just get the ZT.
You know, I saw something interesting on I think it was Instagram the other day, is that a lot of pros are playing with mallet putters. There are not a lot of pros playing with the blades. And I'm still a blade putter, but if all the pros are doing it, maybe I should switch. So maybe I'll buy that ZT putter off of you because I think it's a beautiful putter.
And it's sexy for sure. And I knew this was gonna happen when I bought it. I was like, man, TaylorMade's gonna come out with more colors. And then that's why I was excited that Colin won. I was like, okay, there's gonna be a pro that's gonna play the ZT. And the whole thing was that it's gonna be murdered out. And I don't see any push with it with TaylorMade. So I feel like they might be giving up on it. I'm not sure. So that sucks. But also interesting, actually, and maybe you could weigh in on it a little bit. He actually switched his golf ball too to the TP5X. What do you
I read
play?
that. I read that. I play the TP.
Have you tried it between the TP5 TP?
I have. I think the TP5X has more spin, so definitely more spin and feel around the greens. I don't create a lot of spin, nor do I know how to do it. So I just use the TP5 for now. I feel like yeah, the distance and stuff and the control is there that I need and the consistency. But the spin, I don't know if I have the spin game to do it. Like I can't hit it 5 yards past the pin on a front pin and then zip it back. Like I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I don't need the I don't feel the need to hit a TP5X or like a Pro V1X. What was he playing before? Do you know?
Uh, honestly, I forgot. I just know that he switched his golf ball, and there's a lot of stuff that he was talking about that he believes had helped him win. He's been just watching a lot of, or got off of YouTube and watching those videos.
I thought he said he was watching more YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, yeah. He's just
Oh yeah.
basically chilling out, drinking wine, and watching more YouTube videos
Yeah.
of different golf swings. Right? That's what was happening with him.
Yeah. So to all the people a couple episodes ago who was hating on me saying YouTube golf can't help you. Look at that now. You're winning championships or at least
Well,
an event.
you know what's interesting too that I heard with Colin, and the whole dilemma on 18 where he had to wait 20 minutes. When well, not us, but I mean, I know I do it, or I've heard people say this a lot too. When it's backed up on the course and people are waiting for their approach shot, and they're like, damn it, man, I knew I was waiting too long, and that's why I screwed up. But do you know what he did actually? It was pretty interesting what he said in what he was doing, and I'm gonna try it this year.
Just joking around or something? What was he doing?
I think when you're waiting for your approach shot, you're sitting there practice swinging and staring at it and just waiting, right? And so you're getting impatient. So what he actually did, and he said it's because he's a West Coast guy, maybe other West Coast guys are a little bit more familiar with this. That feeling is he just looked over the cliff and was looking at the ocean. And he said something about staring at the ocean and the West Coast guys, it just calms you down. And what he was saying is, what's the point? If I start getting into the routine of figuring out my yardage, how I'm going to hit it, and all this stuff, so maybe there is a little truth to it when people are, damn it, I waited too long. But and that problem might be, yeah, you did wait too long, but you also prepared too much, where there's too much time for you to overthink it. Where Colin was like, yeah, let me just stare at the ocean and think of something completely different. And sure enough, at least for all his changes, it seemed to have worked.
Yeah, when the courses get backed up and I have to wait, I don't go into my routine yet until I'm ready to go. So if I'm in the fairway and they're still putting, I won't go into my routine yet until they're off. I'll just sit there and wait, joke around with whoever's around me. And then when I see them like almost done, and then start walking off, then I will start my routine because yeah, I have a whole routine. And then if the time clock is off in that, it screws everything up. Did you have any money on this? Did you have a Kalshi or a Poly Market, or where were you throwing money at on this one?
All right. So funny enough, yes, I did take a
I
little
know.
little stab here on Kalshi. So what happened was I actually took the profit. So sorry, let me rewind here. I did have Rory, and that wasn't working out. So I closed that position on Kalshi, and I took Anthony Kim and Dustin Johnson. First, it was Dustin Johnson for Live, and he wasn't performing, and I saw Anthony right in the mix. I was like, all right, it's pretty low odds. I'll take a small little bet here and see where it goes. So I took actually profit from Anthony Kim winning, and then Sunday I just put it on Collin Morikawa to win because I can't pronounce the guy's name, but I did look at the leaderboard and I'm like, I'm familiar with the name, but he's new to the tour, so I don't think that he was ready for that pressure, and I definitely didn't think he was going to win. So I just felt like, all right, we'll just throw it on Collin. He's right there, and I haven't seen his name at the top of the mix for like a few years. Which, funny enough, it's been a few years since he's won.
Yeah, it has. I don't think I've heard his name in the winner's circle in a long time. But Jeff, I want to move on to the second part of on the tee box, and you already said his name. I want to talk about Anthony Kim. Anthony Kim had this wonderful comeback story. When we were growing up, he was the Korean Tiger Woods, and then he disappeared for a long time. And then all of a sudden, his name comes back and he's joined Live, gets relegated, and then he has to work his way back into tour. And then he ends up beating Bryson and John Rahm and wins the tournament.
Yeah, dude. I know they're playing the Live Adelaide, their tournament. So I think that's a pretty big tournament for Live. And when I mentioned when I took a bet on him on Kalshi, it was their second round that I took the shot on him. And I was watching a little bit closely through the leaderboard, and I had it in the background on YouTube when I was doing some work just to, watch a little golf. So it was kind of nice actually, because you have golf during the day that you could watch with Pebble, and then at night you had Live to watch. So I was watching a little bit of that, but I didn't get a chance to see a lot of Anthony Kim in those rounds. But I was following the scoreboard, and yeah, dude, when that final round they announced it and they said there was going to be a marquee group with Bryson, John Rahm, and Anthony Kim, I was like, dude, I gotta watch this whole round here. So I watched all of it. It was pretty damn impressive of what he was doing. And I know you touched on it that he was a Korean Tiger Woods for us. And I really wish that we got a chance to watch him play. And I don't know if you got a chance yet, but I definitely recommend if you get a chance, just look up Anthony Kim on YouTube with a lot of his highlights or some of his rounds that you can watch. One in particular, he played Sergio in the Ryder Cup. I recommend watching that round, and you'll see how dominant this guy is.
Yeah, I want to look him up now because yeah, I gotta support our Korean brothers. But yeah, I know. I think I read that he started the round 5 under Rahm and Bryson, and he
Yeah,
came back shooting a bogey free round or something, and obviously ended up winning the tournament.
he was, yeah, about 5 shots behind, I believe, going into the final round, maybe even 6. And definitely shot bogey free in that round. I mean, dude, this guy was just he was on fire, man. I don't know if you got a chance to see it on our social media, but I was commenting throughout the day when he was playing, and I basically said on Liv's social media page saying, "Dude, this is arguably the greatest comeback ever. If not, this is even better than Tiger Woods win." That's how I felt watching this thing because if you remember when we were watching the Masters, you know, you I had it delayed a little bit because I was recording it and watching it. So I think you jumped online to check the bets to see, and you almost spoiled it for me because I was a little behind. But I remember we were watching the Masters, and you know, we were like, "Oh shoot, Tiger might win this thing," right? And it was kind of exciting. But for me, when I was watching Anthony Kim and thinking about when Tiger won, I don't think anything beats this comeback, man.
Why is
You
that?
have this guy absent for what, 12 to 16 years out of the game, fighting demons, coming back and yeah, like you said, relegated, and then makes fights through the wild card that he had to make to get back into live. So he went through a lot of stuff to get back to where he's at currently in terms of just execution.
Yeah.
And I would say, dude, if you get a chance, you should try to watch the highlights of this performance because he like won 4 birdies in a row. I think he made 7 birdies
He went minus
that
9, I
round.
think, that round.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, he was basically hitting every fairway. I almost feel like watching him the way he was playing, it's probably like in our league with a lot of guys that go, "Oh, this high handicapper's beating me. This guy got a par. This guy got a birdie. I got to do so much." And I think that layer of frustration for the better golfers is probably sitting there like, damn it, man, I can't shake this guy off. And no joke, Anthony Kim was pretty much a fairway and reg all day long. And then he had an approach shot, whatever, stuck it on the green. Some were 20 feet, 10, whatever, right? But his putting was just sick. Everything was and Live is interesting when you watch their event. You know, like in the video games we talked about Rory and PGA where they have the putting line. So on Live they show you the putting line of where it should go, and then you're watching that putt and how it's breaking in, and I'm like, oh shoot, that's gonna go in. And it does, and not only that excitement, it was exciting because a lot of times when you watch golf, people are like, "Right, thanks, thanks," right? But Anthony Kim, I mean, he had, like, some crazy fist pumps every time he finally got closer and started capitalizing, taking the lead, and just then compounding that lead where you could just see the fist pump and the excitement. So I think that's what drew me in and watching it, that his level of excitement made me go, "Shit, like, I'm catching goosebumps here watching this guy win."
That sounds really exciting. I think I'm gonna YouTube the Anthony Kim versus Sergio Ryder Cup that you said, and then I'll watch this other one or all his highlights. But it's also interesting because I think Liv now has 4-day tournaments. So this gave him, I think, a world ranking where he might be able to play in the majors of the PGA. So that would be interesting. And he's also now 40. So it's not like he's some young buck anymore playing against these kids. He's able to compete at 40 with them. It's quite amazing.
Dude, I'm telling you, this story of Anthony Kim, I think there's way more going on than what we know, and I say that because on social media, when they had the whole drama of what, Brooks leaving and then Patrick Reed leaving, Liv basically kept making Anthony Kim the poster child of Liv. That's all they were pushing, and this guy wasn't even signed to a team or anything. So I almost feel like in hindsight now, just thinking about it, not only, you know, why Liv was doing that, and I think Liv, they watching him play and just practice rounds are like, dude, this guy looks like his old self right now. He's dialed in, hitting fairways, sticking greens 3, 5 feet away from the pin. So you touched on it too on the world ranking. I remember in our previous episodes, I was saying, man, it would be awesome for this guy to get the top 100 in like what, 2 to 3 years? That was kind of my timeline for him because he was, what did it say? He was like ranked 800 something. And
World ranking, yeah, I think.
yeah, and now he's ranked in the top 200 because he won that event. So it's a long shot.
203.
Yeah, so it's a long shot for him to make the Masters through a world ranking. I believe the Masters could invite him if they wanted to, but it seems like there's slowly a path for him to making the majors. And the one thing I don't know if you know this, and if you follow uh, a lot of stuff that he posts. I heard a press conference with him. He basically said earlier in the year, "Hey, I would like to win a major." So it just seems like the way Liv was pushing Anthony Kim before he was on a team, I feel like he's basically back, right? I feel like that's the case, and I think it's currently safe to say that, especially the way he won. And he even said it himself that, hey, I would like to play in a major and win a major. So I think he has some ambitious goals, and I think he really believes his mantra of, get better 1% every day.
Yeah, I heard he said that mantra, and it's very interesting. And he's very ambitious, got some goals. So it's gonna be exciting to watch him during this 2026 season and see what he could actually do and where he actually ends up. So I'm really excited, and I'm actually gonna follow along of his story more now that we got a Korean American involved now. But Jeff, I want to move on to the front nine. This was news to us like a couple weeks ago, I believe, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks ago, but we just totally forgot about it with everything that's going on in our lives and all the golf news that's been coming out. But the Megalodome I want to talk about. It's Chicago's very own indoor golf course. It's gonna be I get these mixed up. Ottawa or Oswego. I can't remember
Oh,
which
yeah,
state.
yeah. It's Oswego.
Oswego. So it's gonna be a 9-hole indoor, four huge domes, a par 30, 9-hole indoor course. What are your thoughts about the Megalodome? And I also have a lot of
Um,
thoughts on this as well. So why don't you
so
start off first?
I mean, dude, when I heard the news too, I was a little on the fence. Without actually reading it and looking further into it, I was like, "Oh man, how's this thing gonna work out? Are they gonna have a dome? What are they gonna do? What are you gonna do in the spring and summer?" And it's estimated to be close to about $50 million.
I think sources are saying $50 million. Yeah.
So, for me, I love talking business and reading about businesses. And I was like, okay, 50 million. Why Oswego? I have nothing against Oswego, but I feel like unless there's a huge golf population that we don't know about out that way, I just feel like Northwest suburbs or Chicago proper would be better.
The location, I'm sure that there was a large piece of land that was available where someone can build it, and I mean, 4 big, large domes is gonna be kind of an eyesore.
Yeah, I suppose if you're driving down like Golf Road, let's say, and you
Yeah.
see these 4 domes, yeah, it'd be a little bit of an eyesore to have that. But, some places have complexes and big gyms, so it's not too terrible, but, um,
Are you
yeah,
gonna
I
play
mean, this
there? What do you
facility looks.
think about it? It's supposed to be like an Arizona-style golf course, although I believe I read that the developer or someone highly involved has never played Arizona golf. So it's interesting that
Uh-huh.
they're going to mimic Arizona golf, but they've never been there. And it's also artificial turf. It's not like grass or I wonder, is it just all mats?
Yeah, basically mats. And I'm on the fence on it. Will I go when it's built in the winter? I'm sure there's going to be people in our golf league that will want to play every once in a while. But I just don't know. There's not enough information because what am I going to do? Track in with my winter jacket and you're going to have a locker that I could lock up my stuff and then change back because
It's interesting.
like, there's a lot of things to think about for the winter, so I feel like they need to provide a locker. I don't if you're gonna charge me to rent a locker, oh, that's a turn off. So, that's the things I'm concerned about is for winter, I'm gonna have a winter jacket, I'm gonna carry my golf bag, I'm gonna have to change into clothes, so it's a big ordeal just showing up there for that part. But overall, if I get a chance to play during the winter, why not? I mean, it's 9 holes, so you could play twice, and they're estimating that you could finish it in 3 hours.
For 18, yeah. It's a
So
par 30, so 6 par threes and 3 par fours.
yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, at time you could play golf year long, why not? I mean, I do go to the sim every once in a while during the winter. I'll be honest, it just depends on cost. I mean, if it's like 150, $200 to play a par three that way, maybe once just to get it out of the system, right?
$150 you would pay to play artificial turf golf in the winter. You might as well just take a golf trip somewhere.
Well,
That
right,
is
that's what I'm
crazy.
saying, and I gotta drive all the way to Oswego, so, there's a lot of barriers for me to go out that way to do it, so I would say it has to be like a special occasion type of thing, or, people are begging you type of situation that, "Hey, man, you wanna play? Let's go, let's check it out." So, obviously, I think a lot of people will check it out the first time just to see, and then after that, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just can't find a lot of information on it because it's such a new project. I just know it's gonna be a huge facility. It sounds great of what they're gonna do. I don't know if you got a chance. It's kind of cool just to be able to do it, but in Addison, they have, an indoor range facility. They have a dome. So
Oh, yeah, Mistwood has that too, I think, with, like, the flags or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, flags out
So
there like targets, yeah.
it's definitely
I've never
different
done
hitting
it, though.
inside the yeah, so it's definitely different hitting in the dome when I went to Addison periodically. I just went there just because they have the flags in the back or whatever, the banners, so it's good
Yeah,
target practice. Never could hit it, but, I tried.
yeah. I haven't, but it's pretty interesting.
I mean, what's the max amount that you would pay to play there? I feel like 150 is like
For 9
that's like on the
holes?
high end.
Alright, first of all, let me start with my opinion before I even get into the price. 1, you're not gonna find me there. I'm sorry. Super cool concept, super cool idea. I'm not going there unless, like, I'll maybe go there once, but I'm not driving to Oswego, and 2, I'm not playing indoor golf at a par 3 course. Couple reasons why. 1, it's a par 30. 2, it's artificial turf, so I'm sure people are gonna be spitting all over this place and doing all sorts of crazy things. It's probably gonna be gross in there after a while. And 3, like, it doesn't sound fun to me. Like, I think it's something cool to do in the winter. I'd rather go to the sim than go and do this indoor dome thing. I mean, and as far as price, like, I would pay maybe, like, $30 or I mean, what are they giving you carts? You gotta walk? Like,
Don't know. There's just not enough information to really determine.
it's gotta be only like 2,500 yards or, 2,200 yards or something like that because it's 6 par 3s. Can't even be that long. This reminds me of a bigger, more terrible Des Plaines 9-hole track. That's what it reminds me of. What I think golf courses should do is like I think there's a course in Turkey where there's lights and you could play all day long. More courses should have that. And I understand because some golf courses are in like there's houses around and it might create light pollution for them. But for the courses that are not near houses, there should be lights and you should be able to play until midnight or 2 a.m. if you want to. There are so many times where on a weekend or like yeah, on a weekend probably mostly, like a Friday or Saturday night with the boys, I'd be like, "Man, I wish that we were just going out to play golf, like, we were about to tee off at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. We'd be done at midnight, and we'd go back home, you hang out with your boys, you maybe it's a recreational thing, you have a couple of beers with your friends, you go play 18 holes at night under the lights." Like, that's where I think money should be invested. They should figure out how to, like, solar power those big lights and have people play 24 hours. Of course, you could do this easily as like Highland Woods, not the best course by any means, but it's not near any houses that I could think of. So you could have lights there. And I'm sure there's plenty of other courses that are like this where there's no houses where you could have this type of course where people could play at night. And I know for a fact that tons of people will play at night. I mean, we're always chasing daylight. Just put some lights out there. I mean, that's a way better idea to spend $50 million. Is I'm sure the lights cost way less than that. And even if you can't do solar power, you got to run some electricity lines. Way less than $50 million, in my opinion.
So, it's funny that you say that. I was looking into it to figure out like, how many square feet, the acres that it would be to build this out for 50 million. I was like, oh, it's like you probably could take over a shopping mall. So I was thinking, I was like, Northbrook Court Mall, I think it's dead. What happens if you just took that area and did the same thing over there? And then I started thinking and going down this rabbit hole where I was like, you know what would be really nice actually? And it probably makes way more sense is let's take a course like Mount Prospect. You probably can put a dome out there and just recreate a new 9 hole just for the winter. I feel like you could easily do that.
Sure.
Just walk, play 9 at Mount Prospect and just make up they could put a dome around there and You could easily do a loop.
Yeah, but I think if you do lights, like, you don't need that extra revenue in the winter because 'cause you're gonna be making a ton of
Yeah,
money
I mean,
playing,
well,
all day long.
yeah, I mean, I think the lights are just expensive, but yeah, why not? Just do both. At the end of the day, if you're gonna be committed to running a golf course, yeah, why not? I
You're
mean, I
gonna
know
have
I joke.
people you're gonna have people who try to tee off at, like, 4 a.m. though, you know? Like, you'll get people
No.
who will finish at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., but then you'll also have the crew with families or kids, they're like, "Let's go play at 4 a.m. We'll play under the lights, and then when the sun comes up, they'll turn the lights off, and then we'll finish at, like, 6, 7 a.m.," you know?
Yeah, but if it's in an I mean, I guess it depends on where the course is, because if it's in a residential area with houses, that's gonna be disruptive. So,
That's what I
yeah.
said. It's gotta be somewhere where it can't be with houses, but
Yeah, but then I mean, you're gonna complain about it anyway. So you're just like, "I don't wanna play Highland Woods. It's a shit course. I don't care if they have lights." So you're never gonna be happy about it.
I am the Grinch of life. Anyways, Jeff, we are moving along. We're at the turn, Jeff, and there is something I have a lot of bones to pick with you on this one. I want to talk about Sunday's round. It was 60 degrees in Chicago, and 8 of us decided to play golf. We went to Cog Hill, number 1 in Lamont. Not the best course conditions, but Jeff, let's start with this because I don't know where to go with this one, but I'm going to start with this because this is the most easiest way not to hurt your feelings because your feelings are going to get hurt very soon. We last week we talked about my pet peeve of people picking up people's golf balls. And it was the only hole with water. I think it was like hole 14 or something or 15. I found the water on my approach shot. I didn't know it was there. I missed the green to the right. And I overhear you saying, "Hey, does somebody want a red ball?" And then I'm
You've
on the
heard that?
green. Yeah. And then I'm on the green putting, and there's this guy on our fairway just looking. And I'm like, "Hey, you looking for a ball?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "A red one?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, it's over there." All the way over. And he's like, "No, that's orange. That's not mine." And I'm like, "Oh, red ball. Jeff picked up someone's ball." So how are you going to have go on this tangent on my pet peeve and you pick up someone's golf ball?
Alright, so I'll share from my point of view of what happened. So I know you guys were by the water and we are walking by, and I was walking with Sung, and on the right side is all the trees where we were walking. So let's just say we're heading west. And as I was walking down that line, I was like, "Ooh, a red ball." And I looked around because you guys were on the green. The other group was way back there to even not have hit this shot. And I looked on the left side of where the group was, and they're way down there, almost near, let's say, by their tee box. So I scanned the area and I looked and I made a decision. I was like, well, someone probably lost their ball, because I did find another red ball earlier in the day. So this was actually my second one I found. So I thought I was in the clear. And then I did see this guy start driving up, and he was still where he parked. I swear to you, it was nowhere near remotely close to tell me that he's actually going to walk diagonally towards us to look for that ball. And then as he kept walking, I kept saying this song. I'm like, shit, man, I think I picked up his ball. So, yes, I'm
Embarrassing.
guilty of it. But I also said in the video last week that at least look around and making sure that no one's around. And I looked around and I made sure that I thought I was in the clear before I took it.
Unexcusable, just embarrassing behavior, Jeff. Anyways, that
That's
is
my story, okay? And I'm going to stick to it.
I hope you do. That's the softest thing I'm going to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about, do you have anything else to say before I go into what I really want to get into about Sunday's round?
Yeah, I want to know how your group played. I mean, I know we finished a little late and we all took off, so I'm curious to know how your group played. Was anyone rusty before the league starts?
I was pretty rusty. I mean, hole 1 and 2 and 3, I couldn't get my tee in the ground. So I topped all 3 drives and then topped my way all the way to the green, the first 2 holes. The 3rd hole, I topped the drive but I got in the air. And then I had to start using broken tees. I don't know what you guys did because the tee boxes were frozen.
How often do you get to golf in February in Chicago?
No, I
I
get
think
it,
it's
but
pretty.
I was using broken tees, like, because I couldn't really tee up my ball. So I
Uh,
just used a broken tee to and then that was the height I used.
I was sometimes wherever I saw a divot, I would just put it in there and try. I would look for areas that felt a little softer, but overall, it just sucked.
Yeah, were you guys rusty out there? I know
Uh,
you were.
surprisingly, my group, I felt like they played pretty well considering it's February. So it was a little odd because I know two of them said, I'm not touching a club till like March or April. And they both showed up and played. And, both those guys actually played better than I thought. So I guess from a score perspective, I would be the rusty one out of the four.
You think?
Just a little rust.
Well, Jeff,
Why? What do you got to get off your chest here? Because I
you
know what I
are
shot.
yeah, you're running your mouth all over the internet. People are texting me, asking me if my brother's serious, like, or what's this guy's gotten into. And I say, and everyone's like, is this a stunt? And I'm like, no, like my brother actually believes that he can beat me. And then we go play Sunday, and yeah, I'll grant it. Everyone is rusty. Dude, you can't even break 100 at a putt-putt course.
I broke 100.
What'd you shoot?
Why does the score matter? It
Dude, you
was
could
below 100.
barely and then also on the Discord, it sounds like you took a bullshit drop. So you could
No,
barely break 100 at a putt-putt course. How are you even taking drops at this course? Like,
all right.
the
So
course is wide open, like, and you are challenging people? You're challenging me? Like, this is
yeah, I mean,
unreasonable, dude.
okay, dude. First of all, it's February. I didn't expect us to play in February. Two, there's trees, and the way
There was
you don't.
trees.
Yeah, and here's what happened. Because I play by the rules and other people don't follow rules and understand stuff. This is what happened on the. I forgot what hole number, right? But I drove it and I pushed it right, so it ended up in the woods. So I said, I don't think I'm gonna find it. I'll play a provision, but I think it's lost. Sure enough, walked over there. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna find this ball. And I played my provision. Then the next hole was a long par three. It was like 200 something, 230. And I'm just rusty, I'll say, and I slice it into the woods. And in that situation, everyone's like, "Oh, take a lateral." So I was like, "All right, I'll take a lateral." And then after that hole, there's a par four, and this is how the discussion happened. On that par four, one of the playing partners sliced it right, and it looked like it went into the woods. And they're all saying, "I think it's a lateral." I'm like, "I think it's a lost ball." And they're like, "Well, we don't play like that." I'm like, "I think we do, but I think a lot of you guys in the league think if you hit in the woods, it's just automatically a lateral." My point is, when it's in the woods, a lot of people take this lateral drop when it's actually a lost ball. And it turns out when I looked into it even further, if the course doesn't define it with like red stakes or red lines, then it's a lost ball. So I played it correctly the first time. Then my group said I was playing it incorrectly. So who am I to argue with them?
Okay, well, like you said, it's February. I don't think that the courses are marking out hazard penalty areas like that. Usually the trees are lateral red stakes. But anyways, I want to go back to how you're talking all this smack and you could barely break 100. Now, I don't want to get into all the details of everything you've done in golf to be this wonderful golfer, and you can't break 100.
Here,
And you're challenging me. I'm
let
the
me show
fine
the
dude. Like,
you see that face? You see that face, that pain? I have tennis
I'm
elbow.
the final boss, dude. I don't like
I have tennis.
you. Like when you play Mortal Kombat, you start all at the bottom and like whatever they call it, the tower. Dude, you are not even near challenging me. I don't even like the brother versus brother series. I think has to wait a couple years because this is like, what am I doing here? Dude, I think I
Look,
shot
I
like an
don't even know what you're
82.
trying to say, to
I
be
shot like an
honest.
82 and
What are
I'm
you trying to say? What'd you
rusty.
shoot?
82.
Okay, and I could barely pick up this cup because my elbow hurts. I've never dealt with this pain of tennis elbow.
Dude, just ongoing excuses. Like,
Hey, but I took my loss. Everyone I bet, I paid them out. I even jumped in the bet, even though I'm injured. So what? I
just
don't understand your point. It's February. I got tennis elbow
embarrassing.
all of a sudden. Yeah, my score was embarrassing, but it's also February.
Embarrassing.
I wasn't expecting the. Okay, you can't even put the tee in the ground.
But
There's snow out there.
we all play the same bullshit. We all play the same stuff.
I understand that of what the conditions were. I didn't expect to play in February. Little did I know that I was gonna get tennis elbow the week of playing, all of a sudden, that I have to deal with this pain. I mean, if you wanna take cheap shots at me and talk like you're hot shit, go ahead. It's February. It's the off season. This is
Deep
meaningless.
shots?
It's meaningless.
Yeah. Just like
I
last time we played in Bolingbrook, it was the off season. Now it's
yeah,
February,
exactly.
blah, blah, blah.
You've only won during the off season. So I don't even understand why you're bringing this up. We're not playing for anything. These are meaningless. It doesn't even matter to the handicap. So what's your point?
We're not even playing with a handicap this year. We're playing you challenged me straight up.
All the more reason. If literally when we log in, it says on the grint, this round is a practice round, or it says it's off season. It doesn't even count. You're the only
What?
person that, yeah, when you log in and you create the round, it says this, by the way, hey, this is off season. So you're the only person I know that would talk shit that I won a preseason game.
I'm not talking shit.
Great job.
Totally not even talking shit.
Well,
I'm
I don't
just
know what
putting
you're
a
trying to
text
do
that
here then.
we're what am I? Beat you by 17 strokes? Every time I say you lose by 20, I beat you by 17. This is I mean, you've been golfing for like 13 years. You got custom fitted golf clubs, and you could barely break 100 at a putt putt course, and you're over here barking at me saying like you could beat me. You need to go
Yeah,
play. You need to play like first. You need to play like Mike Lee and work your way up the ranks until you can challenge me because you're not like you said. I'm on your. You're not even on my radar. This is
this is what you were excited about to talk about to bash me? This is weak. Get out of here. It's
get out of
February,
here.
dude. It's
You're
the off
dude.
season.
You
It's
embarrass
the
yourself
off
on the
season.
internet. Just wait until this gets published out there, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, Jeff is challenging James."
Yeah, and they're gonna be like,
Everyone is texting me, asking me if this guy's for real. Like
yeah, I am.
nothing, shit is not clicking in here. I'm sorry, but you got a lot of work to do before you come challenge the champ.
Sure. Okay, the champ. Get out of here. The two times that have been documented that you won has been both off-season rounds, and you're the only one going around bragging, "Oh, Jeff, I kicked your ass during the off-season. Great job. Great job." Wait till the sun is out there and we could play normal conditions. Done.
It's gonna be even a bigger ass whooping when it's nicer conditions. Are you kidding me? I
Yeah,
mean,
okay.
I saw the range work you did today. That was kind of embarrassing too. That was
Yeah, and what did I say? Again, what did I say when we went to the range?
oh my
I'm
oh
literally
my arm
working on.
hurts. Oh my arm hurts.
No, what did I say? I said I'm working on a new swing, and I started this 3 days ago. So,
I
what,
guess we're gonna have to wait. I
you're
guess
gonna
we're gonna have to
talk
wait.
shit as you're gonna talk shit when someone's practicing a new swing?
Oh my
See?
god.
That's what I'm saying, man. You say all this shit,
Let me know
you
when you're in
talk about the
prime playing condition in 20
well, when the
20
sun is out.
29
I mean, you're saying,
2029
"Oh,
when you're ready.
I saw your range session today and it sucked." Yeah, of course it sucks. It's a practice session at a range where I'm trying to work on a new swing. What the man? This guy.
I guess we're gonna have to ask the people in the comments if you actually have a chance. I shot at 82, you shot at 99.
Of
Both playing in
course they're gonna
February.
try to back
Both
you.
well, because they all know that I'm better than you.
Bullshit.
Anyways, Jeff, I'd like to move on to the back nine here. I'm tired of just whooping you on the course and on the pod. Jeff, the back nine. I want to talk about something interesting to me. People always have their regular foursome when they play. And sometimes I like to play by myself. I like to be that random who joins a group. Why do you think it's so hard for people to break into new groups? Why is it so hard for people to be accepting of new players in their crew? And why do golfers hate randoms joining playing with them?
The part where I guess where you're saying why do they hate randoms joining them? I think for the most part, you think everyone's going to be a hack that's going to join you. But I know that times that we've played where it'd be like us and dad and a fourth join us, that fourth is perfectly fine. And most of the time, that solo, if they played enough, they're pretty conscious about what's going on. Like, oh, you guys go first and then I'll go because they feel like they're a guest or they're intruding. Why? What's your thoughts? And maybe I'll circle back and maybe I'll have a thought that pops into my head. But yeah, at the time, I don't know why it's so hard to break into a new foursome sometimes.
Yeah, I will say everybody, I feel like everybody has their like best golf friend. And this one friend of mine, he invited me out to play. And this was literally the only time I've ever said no to him. And he hit a hole in one. And he immediately called me and was like, I got a hole in one. piece of shit and you're not here. I felt totally bad. But I sometimes feel like if he didn't invite me, like I'd be like, "Yo, you cheating on me?" I feel like we're dating or something. "You cheating on me, son of a bitch?" Or like I don't. I feel like I've broken into some new golf groups in the last couple of years. I've been trying to like play with new players and trying to hone in on my game and work on my game and see like if I could find better golfers to play with. Because I feel like the only way to get better is to play with better golfers. So I've been searching high and low for these good golfers, and it's funny because it's been easy for me to find crews to golf with. I get invited from all walks of life of golfers, and a lot of the times I unfortunately can't always play with everybody. It's just too expensive, and I don't have the time as much as I would love to just always play golf with everybody. I just can't. But I also feel, especially when I see on Instagram, a lot of people have their foursome and they don't break that group. Once you have your solid four, like that's it. No one's allowed in, no one's allowed out, and I don't like that. And that's why I like the golf league. We have a Discord, so at any one time, if you're trying to play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday afternoon, you can just go on there and be like, "Hey, anybody want to play golf today?" And I guarantee there's at least two or three people will be like, "Yeah, I wanna play today. Yeah, I'll play." And I also like that in the league, I would say, like, we're a community, and there's, like, 25 to 30 of us. It's nice that we're all playing together. Like, we all play on Saturday or Sunday. We all compete against each other. Some people might be really sticklers on the rules and people might butt heads out there, but it's competitive. It's fun. We have a community. I think it's great. I don't really like the always solid foursome. I mean, I guess we used to play as a foursome all the time, and I kind of went as a lone sheep and went out to find other golfers.
Well, maybe it's just because it depends on the group dynamic of how you're gonna play. So maybe partially you branched off on your own because you didn't want to gamble anymore and you just wanted to have fun. Because I know you said it before too. And there's a little truth to it where you said, hey, sometimes it's just nice just to play without betting and then, just around pretty much, right? So I think when you have a group where you can just play and just around and not worry about the rules and all these different things and just let's just relax for the day, right? And it's kind of a nice feeling. And I know for the group that I play with, or most of the time different groups that I play with, we're always gambling, playing NASA, playing for the round, playing for something. So it's a little bit more intense. And I feel like sometimes with group people that play, they just don't want to gamble and they know that this group is gonna want to gamble and I just rather avoid that situation. Maybe that's the reason.
The gambling, I think, does take a toll after once in a while. It is nice to play for money, but the handicap system is just so fair that it's, to me, or at least for me, it became, why do I want to gamble or play someone for money if I know that I'm better than them, but I just like a level playing field? Like it did that part didn't make sense to me. 'Cause we go train, right? We just went to the range today. It's February still. It was pretty cold today. Went to the range, put in some work. And it's like, why am I doing this to get better for me? And you don't get better, but we're gonna play for money now, and it's the evil playing field. So that's kind of why I don't really gamble when I play a lot anymore. Now, when today, we found Cowboys partner and they were like, how much are we playing for two versus two? And I was like, oh, okay, all right. Now it's kind of juicy because we're on a team, and I'm like, all right. And especially because it's Cowboy, I'm like, this guy, do you want to take his money? This rich
Yeah,
bastard.
they don't stand a chance.
No,
Although
I know that, but
his
I'm
ringer was pretty
excited for him.
good. His ringer was pretty good, I thought.
He can hit the ball, but he's a head case too. Like him and Cowboy, their mental game kind of
But
just like,
I mean, dude, he was calling his shots.
he only has a draw.
He was like, "Here's a cut, here's a fade."
No, he only has a draw. He
All
only
right,
has a
well,
draw.
whatever.
But like I also sometimes when I play, and I haven't done this in a long time, just because I guess I have a lot of people I could play with now. But I do remember there were times where I just wanted to play by myself. I just wanted to go out there with nobody that I know. If I get paired up or I'm in the threesome with other people, I wanted to go out there and meet new people, play other people, just see what it's like. And I wanted to see what it was like being that solo person again, where people are like, oh, this guy probably sucks. And I go out there and play with them, and they're like, oh, this kid actually can work his way around a golf course. So it is interesting to me how people just don't like to break their regular foursome, and I mean, I like playing with a
Well,
lot of different people, and it's so hard for to break into those groups, and I don't know
yeah,
why
I
people
mean,
are like that.
I would say, I mean, for you, I mean, you probably just you like that atmosphere, you know. Hey, what up? I'm the new guy, you know, and try to be, you know, buddy buddy with a lot of people. I do like playing solo rounds myself, like you mentioned, because I just don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to get away, and I just want to hit some golf balls. And I remember I was paired up with the group at Bridge of the Poplar, and you could already see it. Like, oh, damn it, we have a solo joining us. And I'm in my head, I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, let me see how these two play. Because they're probably thinking, like, I suck, I'm just a solo, right? And I'm sitting here going, yeah, let me see how you play. And now Bridges, if you remember hole one, it's a little bit of a bitch. So they took an iron off the tee box. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Bridges of Poplar or Seven Bridges?
Bridges a poplar. And then
Okay.
the second, you know, that approach shot that's over water and it's elevated a little bit. I would say they were like 190 out with their iron. I was like, these guys are gonna go for it right now this far. I'm like, all right, and they hit it. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, I think I have a game here today. And then hole two, it was just luck on hole one. They happened to play great on the hardest hole over there. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Sometimes I like playing solo rounds just because I literally don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to bet. I just want to get away from the world and, you know, just hit some golf balls.
Yeah, it's great to do that. I do kind of just miss playing by myself and doing that. But Jeff, I think episode 15 is a wrap.
I I got a question
You
for
got
you
more?
here.
You got a question for
Yeah.
okay, well,
Um,
rewind. Go ahead.
So there's actually two things I want to bring up. I know we want to wrap up here soon, so I want to bring up two things here. I want to know your thoughts on this situation here, and I feel like we run into this a lot where people don't know. So at Cog Hill, that par three that out of bounds or whatever that was in question. So there's
Okay.
a tree line. So let's say we're heading east, right? Let's just say directionally we're heading east, and there's a group next to us on a different fairway of a hole going east, but they have to be encroaching to our side in the tree line. Now, this guy was further back than most of our players that had to chip onto the green. Now, I don't know why this dummy, he kept trying to hit it over the trees and he had no launch angle to get it over the trees. And the smart play would have been just to punch out. So, anyways, he kept trying to carry the trees and he couldn't, and he kept hitting into it. And he was on our side the whole time, and one of the playing partners, you know, said something out loud, not at him, but at the situation. And I want to know your thoughts. Who has the right of way to go? Should that guy wait and let us get on the green so he can play? Or should we wait for him when he's on our side?
Wait, I'm trying to recall that hole, the 200 like 30-yard par 3 you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so there's trees on the right. It's kind of
There's
open on the
trees
left.
and there's a tree line on the left
And then
side.
past the green, there's a tee box. Are you talking about the people to the left of you were in your way or
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
where
saying
to the
they're
right?
both heading in the same we're both heading in the same direction basically. But one group is trying to go back left and we're on our fairway. So I'm saying, or better yet, let's just say you're on the tee box and you slice it and you happen to be on someone else's fairway, and so you drive over to rush to hit your ball and you got the guys on the tee box. Who should go first? Should the guy that happened to end up on their fairway go first, or should you wait until the guys on the tee box hit?
There's two answers to this. And one, I'll give the better answer if everyone kind of is a decent player. Um, if I'm on hole 12 and I slice it onto hole 14 or 13, hole 13 should go first. Because if they wait for me, then I'm holding up everyone else behind me. If that makes sense. Because then they have to wait for me. Then I finish, and then now they're behind because I had to go fiddle around on their hole. So I would say it's the person who's the hole ahead of you to go first to keep the pace of everyone moving along together. Now, I have had this happen during a league event where I slice it or push it onto the wrong fairway or whatever. It was a day where at Heritage Bluffs, I think it was, where it was extremely slow, like really, 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 really slow. And I believe I sliced my ball on their fairway. And all four of them each took 3 shots to get towards the green, and they still were not past my ball. meaning all 4 people took 3 shots and each ball only went like 5 yards. So in that instance, I mean, in that instance, they were the hole ahead of me anyway, so they should have gone, which I was allowing them to do. But after their like third shot, I was like, dude, you guys let me go and then let me get out of your way. Cause I think for them, they thought I was kind of in their way, which I was way off to the side. I probably wasn't safe there. That's my answer of it should be whoever is on the hole ahead of you, that person should go hit first to keep everything moving along. Now, if the guy is hitting it in the tree, and we almost got hit at Cog Hill, but if the guy can't get it through the trees or over the trees or whatever the guy's doing, especially right now in February, like you got to pick up and move it. You got to pick it up and move it, move the game along. Especially for these people who are like, what was that guy hitting? His fourth shot, fifth shot? Like you got to pick it up and
He
move it along.
Yeah, I mean, it took him about 4 shots, maybe 5, to get on the green because eventually his ball was out of the tree line because he just kept hitting the trees and where it landed. But I knew already one of the guys, I heard him, I'm like, "Oh, man, we're gonna get into a fight." Um, 'Cause, he was getting frustrated that he couldn't chip, and, I mean, I get it. I believe he was in the right where he was trying to chip it on, and I know he was trying to watch because he didn't wanna get scalded or hit with his golf ball by a tree or, someone, hitting poorly, and you could tell the guy was hitting poorly, and I'd be concerned too that you're just sitting out there, trying to chip on, and this guy could literally shank it and hit you, right? So you're trying to keep an eye on what's going on, but this guy just kept hacking away. And I feel like in that situation, he's encroaching onto our side. Let us finish or get on the green so you could do whatever you need to do.
I can see that point too. And it's kind of frustrating because it's February. You would think it's just like pretty decent golfers who are going out there to play in middle of February. But you also got to remember where you're at. You're at COD number one. No one is, if anyone plays there in the summer or even in regular golf season, like they're not really good golfers, I would say. So with that, I would say like that's what you get for playing courses like that. Now, granted, that was the only course that was really open. I mean, there was only 3 or 4 courses that we could have picked on Sunday. A lot of courses open up on Monday, though, I saw. But
I
Sunday,
was
there
getting
was
the
only 3 courses I could choose from.
yeah, the emails were coming out, courses were open this week, so that was nice. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, I know we talked about a round with 8 people, so it happened to be 8 people in our golf league that we all played together, but I don't think we had a chance to really discuss it, so I just want to talk about it very quickly here. What'd you think about us playing at 75% handicap allowance?
It seemed more fair, I believe. Like, the scores were all pretty tight, although it was an exhibition. Most people still took it fairly seriously. I thought the scores were more fair. I mean, the best score there was a +4. I shot a +5 with the handicap. So I feel like it was all tighter ranges. Nobody was really crazy. And I believe Sung would have shot even par had he gotten the other 25% of his handicap. I mean, I'm all for it. 5%, I mean, I thought it was really fair. And everyone gets dinked. And the 25% that I get dinked is equally, if not more hard on me, I feel like, than someone else. Like, even though it's less strokes for me, like 2 strokes, that's 2 strokes is a lot for me. That's so many less errors that I can make. I'm only allowed, let's just say if it's errors, right? Like if I'm a 10 handicap, I'm only allowed 10 errors on 18 holes. Now, if you take away 2, I'm only allowed 8 errors now. There's not a lot of room for me to make errors. So
I agree.
it's it made it way more fun. I feel like way more competitive, and it definitely eliminated the bigger chances of these scores ballooning out of control. Like, I mean, if Sung's shooting even again in February, like, come on. So yeah, I'm all more for the reason of 80 per. I don't say 75. I think we should be at 80. I mean, ChatGPT says that. Skynet said 80%. I plugged in all the handicaps, all the players. With the wide range of people that we have, it says that we should do 80%. So I think that's what we should go with. I also I'm now going to retract my statement of doing the playoff match play bracket. I was really for it. I had really good points. It was more of my feeling and my idea, so I really wanted to do it. But now it's with the handicap, it doesn't make sense to do. So I think for that reason, I'm out on that. But
Cool.
if you want to talk about everyone following the rules and all this stuff and all this leniency. There should be no leniency ever, is my
No,
opinion.
I mean, here's my thoughts on that part. I see the comments that have been happening, and I totally understand that you don't wanna win based on penalizing an individual for uh, a bad outcome. And on the flip side, I would say you should feel equally as bad that you won because you took a lateral drop as opposed to playing it OB. And I don't think people see it that way because it's only like, oh, that's bullshit that this affected me. But really, if you think about it, especially competitively, whether you're betting or in the league of what's going on, when an individual plays it incorrectly and gives them a better score, that's not fair to the other guy that could have won but lost because of a stroke. And I don't know how many times in our league where situations happen where, if you called it, that one stroke might have made a difference actually in the playoffs. And I know I said in the Discord that we do need more individuals like your friend that got the hole in one that after the round called and basically said, hey man, the guilt's killing me. I played the hole incorrectly on hole 2 at Seven Bridges, and
I
that one
remember.
stroke actually helped me advance to the next round.
Yes, it did. I do remember.
So,
And that goes with every event though too, because especially if everything's with FedEx points, and now let's just say if we have a cut, all of that stuff is gonna matter. Because if you give someone an inch on like event 2 and they place at a certain place here, that might screw somebody else over at event 9 where you're on the cusp of the cut line now. But I think everybody should really play to the rules. Now, the only rule we don't play with is the divot rule, and that's so stupid. I always tell everybody they can take it out. If I am very kind to myself and take these nice penalty drops, I mean, the only person I'm really hurting is myself because then in a real game, it's like, oh, I hit that. Well, I could just take this friendly little drop. It's like, no, you can't. And I think a lot of that from when we started playing with the rules and being really hard on ourselves, I think that made me a better player. I am very lenient with other people, but I'm very strict on myself when I play. Like if it's out of bounds, I play the out of bounds. If it's this, I play this. If it's two strokes, I mean, if it's two club lengths, I don't pull out my driver and I just kind of like take 2 steps and I measure what I think 2 driver lengths is and I drop the ball from my knee. And if wherever it rolls, that's where it rolls and that's where I hit it from. I'm pretty strict on myself because I want to be better and I don't want anyone to give me an inch. Cause yeah, like I don't want a stone to take my glory. I'm not gonna be like, well, I gave you that putt over here and this is why you won. Like I don't want to hear any of that. Cause when I win, I win. I don't want to hear like, oh, I gave you this or I gave you that. Or like, I didn't tell you to give me that. I don't really ask for gimmies or I don't really ask for anything. So in the league, it's gonna be really tough where people like want to be nice to people. And that can't really happen. That has to be cut, like, especially with gimmies. Like people want to give a 1 foot or 2 foot downhill gimme, and it could be like 2 feet outside the cup. That's a pretty hard putt still to make, even if it's 2 feet and it's 2 cups out. Like you don't know how hard to hit it uphill or even downhill for it to go in and, with that break. So a lot of people, if you're just taking all those putts, you're never gonna make that. Jeff, do you have anything to say about the handicap situation or the rules of golf?
for the 75%, I thought it was really interesting that we stumbled across it, going into now our 10th season and playing regardless it was a regular season event and watching it, and I was honestly more focused on the leaderboard and looking at it, and I thought it was great that it was pretty close amongst everyone, and I think everyone was playing pretty good too to begin with. But it didn't look like someone was -3 versus someone +2, and you're looking, it's like, dude, this guy's -3, I'm +2. How am I going to catch up, right? So I think in that sense, psychologically, it kept it tighter, so it was fun to watch. I know it's a small sample size to make a decision right now, but it was helpful seeing it actually and having the ability for 8 of us to go out there and knowing how everyone plays that is like, okay, this doesn't look too terrible. Everyone's much closer and it's harder to win actually. So I did like that.
Yeah, I thought it was really fair. 75% is a lot, but I would like 80%, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am
So
putting that
Jeff,
into consideration.
okay, well that's great. Well, Jeff, I think that's a wrap on episode 15 here. Before we go, the Chicago Golf Expo is this week or next week, February 27th to March 1st.
Next
Do you
week.
want to go?
Yeah, I think we should definitely go. It's
I think
always, at least
Megalodome
for
is going to
me.
be there too.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely wanna talk to those guys, and I think every time we went to the Chicago Expo, we meet, new vendors, and it's good to build that relationship, with some of these guys. I know we have a great relationship with a vendor for our golf league that we've done 10 years now, and, it's just nice to go to it because I feel like for me, when the Chicago Golf Expo comes to town, then it's time that, like, golf season's here, you know?
It's
Like,
almost here.
March
I'm
is right
getting
around the.
really excited. I'm getting really
Yeah,
excited.
so
If you guys are going to the Golf Expo, please tag us or let us know. We'd love to see you guys. Love to say hi to our many fans. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe. We got a lot of things going on. It's also season 10 of the Path to Par Golf Club. We got a lot of new exciting things happening. If you're in the Chicagoland area and you want to join us, please reach out to one of us, send us a DM, put a comment. We love to have you guys and play with us. Is there anything else you want to say, Jeff?
No, actually, I'm gonna hit the sim later tonight, so
Again?
I'm gonna keep working I'm gonna work on my new swing. I like what I'm seeing, and hopefully I get enough reps in that it looks a little bit more dialed in, but I'm excited for my new swing.
Well, I like that you're practicing a lot. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. Please like, subscribe, and if you'd like to be a guest on our show, please send a DM because I know there's people out of the 8 people we played with that some were like, "Let me be a guest on your show," and I was like, maybe we'll have to see. But if you want to be a
We'll
guest,
talk
let us know. We
offline.
would love to have you on the show.
We'll talk offline.
All right, I'll see you, Jeff. Have fun at the sim.
Alright. See you.
See you.